Hi guys, okay, so I am absolutely riddled with this bug that's going around. I cannot shift it. This is like my second week. It started disappearing and it's coming back. So, sorry guys, I'm in my pyjamas. So I've been asking you guys what kind of stuff you'd like me to do a video on, and I feel like it's been a while since I've done a fibro video, and something that sort of keeps popping up and was particularly requested by one of my viewers who I talk to a lot socially as well, Patty. I hope I've said it right, Patty Drake. Hope you don't mind me saying your name. You among others have asked me to do a video on tips for travelling with fibro, and the weather's starting to change, and I know it's coming up to Christmas where it's likely that you're going to do a little bit more travelling to go and see people. So I've just sort of made a bit of a list of some of the things that I do to try and cope. School run. Some of the things that I try and do to cope with fatigue when we go away and things like that. So I hope this will be helpful to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All my information if you want to get in touch with me is in the description box. For some reason at the moment I seem to be having a problem with comments coming through, so I'm getting email notifications that people are commenting but it won't open and I can't seem to get to them, so I'm not really sure what's happening with this. If I don't get back to you guys, I'm not ignoring you, it's just I cannot get to your comment and I don't know why it's doing it or what to do about it. So let's get into the tips on what to do if you're going travelling. So tip number one, I would highly recommend making sure you get plenty of sleep before you actually go away, because you want to start off your trip with as much energy and as many spoons as you can start with. So if we're going away, and say if we were going on a Saturday, I like to get things done beforehand so that I can sort of take it steady the week of going away, so that by the time you get there you've sort of given yourself a slight head start, because as you know it's all about building your spoons up and using them properly. So highly recommend get plenty of rest before you actually go, as much as possible. I know getting sleep and stuff properly can be a problem, but even if it means you try and find something, like I've been put on medication to help me sleep, because I've tried things like Horlicks, natural sleep remedies, meditation. I've tried so many different things and it's just like my body physically cannot fall asleep by itself at the moment, and I don't know why. I don't feel particularly stressed about anything that I'm aware of consciously, but I'm just really struggling to naturally fall asleep. So the only way I can actually get sleep at the moment is through using my medication. So if it means getting medication, even if it's just for this trip that you're taking, I would really recommend it, because it will make massive differences in how much energy you actually have to start with. Step number two is plan and make as many lists as possible, because I know what I'm like. I get like cloud brain, so I will think of so many things that will help me out, and then when it comes to packing I just forget about it. So I found my best method is me and Thumper will actually sit and make a list of the essentials, and then anything that we think we might need or want to take with us. That goes down as far as pack of cards for if the weather's rubbish and we want to stay in, and a few games. Think of everything that you could possibly need, and I would suggest doing this a good while before you're going away, so that you've got time to make sure you've got everything in. And like I say, just make lists. Even once I'm away, I will actually make lists so that I don't leave anything behind, because you can guarantee school run, good times. So if you hear a lot of kids, I haven't got a load of children stuck in my front garden, they're all just coming home from school. But yes, list everything, because that way you're less likely to leave things behind, either going away or when you're coming back. So definitely massive lifesaver. Like I say, I have got the biggest collection of notebooks and I have different ones for different things. So like I say, I'm currently working off a list now because like I say, I'm full of cold and my brain is forgetting everything I want to say to you guys. Step number 3, arrange a wheelchair if you're going by aeroplane. And again, I know quite a few of you seem to have a lot of issues about using walking sticks and wheelchairs, but at the end of the day, if it helps you reserve some of your energy, because let's face it, some of these airports are huge. Some of these airports are massive, and if you're going to be walking around a lot, that straight away is going to wipe out a lot of your energy, because even being excited about something can drain your body of energy like that. So, you know, look at things like mobility scooters once you get somewhere, because it's a real option. And yes, you may feel a bit embarrassed about being in the chair, but at the same time, if it means you get the most out of your trip, at the end of the day, it's for your benefit. And if other people want to look at you instead, that's their problem, not yours. I know that's easier said than done, but I've discovered this with my walking stick. I use it now if I need to. And yes, you will have people look at you and wonder why someone like you has got a stick, especially if I've got my makeup on. It can confuse people a bit, and a lot of the time it's not that they're judging you, they're just trying to figure it out. So try just to ignore that people might be looking at you, because let's face it, people will. Someone will always stare at other people for different things, be it the clothes they wear, whichever, it doesn't matter. But I would seriously recommend it, because it just means that your energy levels straight away will be boosted from the start. So consider it, guys, I really would. Number 4. This one is quite important, and I have done this myself when me and Thumper have gone away anywhere. If you're staying in a hotel rather than with friends and family, I would get in touch with the hotel before you get there, or even whilst booking, because if you're doing it online, there's additional notes box and things like that. Let them know that you have mobility problems and that you would like somewhere closer to the ground floor or near a lift, because when we went to Blackpool, we did ask to get as close to the ground floor as possible, but all those rooms were booked. So what they actually did in the end was they put our room that was pretty much opposite the lift, so that it wasn't actually far to go. Because I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying I have fibromyalgia or I have chronic fatigue, because let's face it, a lot of people don't know what that is. So if you want to arrange something like that, just simply tell them that you have mobility problems, and most hotels will try and arrange something for you, so that it just means that that's something you don't have to worry about if you've been out and done a few things in the day. So definitely number 4, tell the hotel you have mobility problems. Highly recommend that one. Number 5, plan ahead for a flare-up, because depending on the length of stay of where you're going, there is a good possibility that you may have the start of a flare-up or just a few symptoms kicking off a bit. I've certainly had this when we've done a little bit too much and got a bit too excited about something and overdone it and felt like death the next day. So basically, when I say plan for a flare-up, I mean pack your medication, pack books, pack films, basically anything that means, you know, that if you do have to have a day where you stay in and chill out and rest up a bit again, you've got things so you don't feel crappy about the fact that you're away and you're stuck. So yes, your bag may sound like it's going to be getting really heavy, but at the same time, I would rather do this and know that I'm covered. So in here we have our portable DVD player, obviously in a cool storage box. And what I will do is I generally get like a CD wallet, and I will pick a range of films that both me and Thumper can sit and watch. Not only that, if you get back of an evening and there's nothing on entertainment wise or anything like that, it means if the telly is crap or you don't have, because like when we go, certainly when we go off up into Yorkshire and places like that, we found that the TV doesn't always work very well in terms of like the Freeview and things, because of where we are, because we're generally in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, where there's just no reception. So having this has been awesome, which has meant we can still sit and watch something. Especially if you're having a night where you can't sleep, you can put something on, put headphones in, you're not disturbing anyone. I'd just really recommend it. Take a few books with you if you're into reading and things like that. Because yes, you will be annoyed that you're having a flare-up, but at the same time you're still having a change of scenery. But if you need that day to rest up, take it. At the end of the day, you have to respond to your body. So that's number 5. Number 6, pack for both cold and hot body temperature, because certainly one of my personal symptoms is that I have really bad body temperature control. So I'm generally not in a comfortable place. I'm either really cold or really hot. So I will pack stuff that when I'm having days where I just cannot warm up, I know that I have got plenty of stuff in my bag, be it comfy socks, extra layers of t-shirts, jumpers. I know that I can get myself warmed up as much as possible. Same as if you're going extra hot, you pack shorts and vest top for pyjamas, so that when you're hot over night time it's a little bit more comfortable. Again, it sounds like you're packing loads, but if you pack sensibly the way you pack, it's not that bad. I would much rather have too many things with me and know that I am covered for every possible situation that could pop up. Number 7. Now this one's pretty important as well. I'm going to end up saying that on most of these, but there we go. So number 7, don't overdo it and just pace yourself. So you want to enjoy your time away. So whilst you're out, if you think, I could go and do that, just bear in mind that if you do that one extra thing, you might not be able to do quite so much the next day. So if you're somewhere, especially if you're with friends and family, if you know you've got a good stretch of time in that place, just maybe don't try and squeeze it all into one day and take another trip back there and do it another day, because if you overdo it, you know what it's like with the spoons. They will go and they will not come back for a good while. So definitely pace yourself, which again is key to fibromyalgia in general, and it's probably one of the most difficult ones to get used to and to adjust to. I'm certainly finding that in everyday life, never mind when I'm away, because you do want to get in as much as possible, but you have to be sensible at the same time, because otherwise you're the one that pays for it. Number 8. So rest up as much as possible when you can, when you're actually away. So we will find that we don't generally plan to be up at the crack of dawn and out at the door, going places. If it is a day where we need to be up early to make the most of a place, then we make sure that we're back and we'll plan sort of an evening meal in or wherever close by, but something that's not going to mean that you are out from like 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, because let's face it, your body probably just will not cope with that. So yeah, you basically arrange as much rest time as possible. I know I sound like a teenage boy, but I can't get rid of it. It really does help, and you just, even if it's like, well, we'll do this and then go back for a couple of hours and just have a sit down and then we can go back out and do something. We did that last time we went to Whitby and it made a huge difference. We actually managed doing more on the trip than when we've just tried to squeeze it all in, and then I've had like 2 days where I can't actually move, so you lose 2 days. You have to kind of weigh it up for yourself a little bit. Step number 9, I would highly recommend take as many photos and videos as possible, because if you're anything like me, your brain is rubbish. So when you get home from your trip, you want something to look back on, because the amount of times that me and Thumper have been away and we get back and put the photos onto the computer, we're like, completely forgot we went there or forgot we did that, and it's just a way of keeping a track record of what you did a little bit. You know, not only that, once you're home, if you're having a rubbish day, it means you can look back and actually sort of have more memories from your holiday. So highly recommend lots of pictures. Not only lots of pictures, take pictures of you with your family, whoever you're with, and scenery pictures. Just don't limit it to one type of photo. I like to get pictures of the place, different things we're going to see, and even if you like capture a moment of, you know, whoever you're with, it's just a nice little memory. So definitely recommend taking as many photos as possible. Step number 10. Now this one is a huge one, and you will have seen me mention this before in some of my really early videos. Wherever I go, I make a medicine bag with as many possibilities that could happen within it. So ours is literally just a wash bag that we picked up, or I might have been given it on Christmas. But we have everything from IBS medication to hay fever, cold and flu tablets. So if you feel like you're on the brink of possibly getting a cold, because you can kind of tell when you're tired, I generally will get ill afterwards. It just helps fend it off. hiccups, what the hell. It just generally fends off something from starting before your holiday's over. Obviously with medication bags, if you are travelling by plane or anything like that, just double check the rules and everything on your bags. But if you are generally travelling by car or wherever, and it's somewhere that you know and you're going to family, medication of any kind shouldn't really be a problem. But always double check that whatever you're taking is allowed where you're going, and if it's not, get the correct paperwork to prove that you need it. That makes sense? I hope so. Number 11. So again, along with the medication line, I would always take with me Barocca, which is like a multivitamin that you drop into like a glass of water and it fizzes away. It's full of all the vitamins and minerals you could possibly need to help top your body back up again. I take that, and I will take it every single day while I'm away, just to give myself that extra bit of a boost while I'm there. Also any kind of vitamins that you've been recommended. So at the moment I've been told I am very low on vitamin D, so that is something that will also go in my bag. So if there's something in particular you've been told your body's lacking, make sure you have that with you, because again, you're just giving yourself a better chance to actually enjoy yourself while you're away, because you're not then dragging even more than you will be. Number 12. So prioritise what you want to do the most. So if we go somewhere and say we're going for a week, we will look before we go as to what's around and what we can see, and we will pick something that we both really want to do, that whilst we're there we don't want to miss it. Other things you sort of look and you think, well, if we get a chance and we're feeling okay, we'll do it. So again, with the lists, we will make a list of places that we definitely want to go and things we definitely want to do. And then we have a list of places that would be nice to do and places that if we get a chance we'll go. And I have to say it's made a massive difference, because by doing that it means you're not missing out on the things that you really want to experience and go and visit. So it's really helped a lot by doing that. Well, another thing that I would recommend within that category of prioritising is that we always arrange that we have at least 1 or 2 days, if we're going somewhere for a week, where we don't actually make any plans at all. Even once we're there, we will literally wake up on the day, see how we're feeling, and if everything's okay and these things have helped, then we will do something. But at the same time, if it's not great, it means that we know we can stay in, because we haven't booked anywhere, we haven't pre-arranged to be somewhere that we have to go and we'd lose out on paying for booking it already. It just gives yourself that little bit more mental freedom of knowing that you've got a day or two to yourself where you can either do something or do nothing. But I would definitely recommend doing that, because we didn't used to do that and we'd plan something for every single day, and you're kind of tied into doing stuff that way, which isn't very wise with a condition like this. It's just not. It's not always possible, and things change when you're away. You know, you have to take into account weather, how you're feeling, all of that fun stuff, and you know, just be sensible with it a little bit, and you'll find that thinking ahead by doing that, you'll actually boost how much you can do on a holiday and how much you can enjoy it. Number 13, the final point, and I would say this is probably the most important one, is know your limits, and don't be afraid to say no to doing something, especially if you're going away to see family and things. You will feel a lot of pressure to make sure you see everyone and make sure you go to every single thing that's going, and at the end of the day it's your body and you have to think about the consequences of doing what you do. And if you know that you've really overdone it, and if you go to something and you will feel terrible afterwards for doing it, you just have to say no, and people will either understand or they'll be funny with you. But it's you that has to deal with your symptoms that kick off, and I know myself personally, not happening. If I really feel terrible, I am not going to put myself through it just for the sake of a few hours. If I'm feeling better and we still have the time to do something or meet that person, then we'll do it. But at the same time, if I really know that I'm not well and I'm going to be completely immobilised for 2 weeks for the sake of like an evening out, then I'm not going to do it. And a lot of people, I find, really, really good with it. I've got some really good friends and family that are really good at coping when I say I'm sorry. I can't make it. I can't do it. And then there are people that just kind of think they sometimes take it personally, and there's always going to be that risk of rejection. And again, it boils down to, I'm the one that's got to deal with this every day, and if it means I'm worse off, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. You've got to look out for number one sometimes, and putting your foot down and just making a stand is probably one of the best ways you can actually not only empower yourself, but you can help yourself in terms of how many spoons you have left. On a final note, I would probably say as a warning, if you are away, be prepared for the aftermath. Even taking every single one of these steps into consideration and doing them, you will guarantee when you get home and you've unpacked, you've relaxed, once you finally relax and stop altogether, you're gonna feel bad. There's no two ways about it. I have tried every single one of these steps. I will say, however, it makes the flare up not quite so intense and not quite as long, but it still happens once you get back. But that's okay, because you've been away and you've done it. It just means that when you're away, you can enjoy yourself there by taking these steps and, being sensible a little bit, and I think it helps a lot. So I hope this has been a little bit helpful. I don't really have any other tips or anything. If there's something that you do to make your travelling feel a little bit better and more comfortable, let me know. It's always helpful to know these things. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it's any good, and if you know someone that you think it could be helpful to, send it their way. But yes, thank you very much again for sticking around and getting in touch, guys. It means a lot, because it helps me know what you guys want to see at the end of the day. But yes, that's everything I can think of. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
My mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king, and my papa told me it's okay to say when shit hurts, don't forget your dreams, 'cause they'll get